Hello again, everybody. Chris here, the Part 66 consultant. I have with me a friend of mine, Alex, who is, apart from a colleague, he's a seasoned aircraft engineer where we have common parallels in that we're both aircraft engineers, as I said. We both attended courses together. We are both training instructors in our own right for Part 147 training organizations, and we've conducted practical trainings together as colleagues. And Alex has also got a professional qualification from a university in the realm of training. So I just want to talk a bit to you about, well, I want Alex to explain how this all came about. When this all came about. Alex is not a born Australian, so he's just like myself, an import. Alex, tell us your story. How did it all begin, mate?
Yeah, hello, Chris. Thanks for having me here. So back in the days when I came over here to Australia, I wanted to be a pilot, and I took a few lessons. And towards end of the course, getting towards my commercial pilot license target, I just ran out of funds, so I couldn't continue. And I've done all sorts of things after that. And I always wanted to study something. So I have to say I was not that young anymore, not in my not 18 years old, obviously in my 20s, but still. And I thought I have to do something, I don't know, engineering.
So when you hang on a minute, hang on, I never even knew about this. So how short, when you say you were a bit short, how short were you from a CPL?
50 hours or something.
Short.
Hmm.
Oh my God. And you didn't go and borrow the money or do something about it?
I had some reserves, but my reserves needed somewhere else. So I had to say goodbye to a dream.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It was a beautiful location in Australia where I was learned to fly, and I had good memories, scary things as well. My first solo flight was pretty scary, alone, and but I'm here, so it's obviously I managed.
You found the runway.
Yes. Buns. But anyways, then I couldn't finish it, so I done a few things, nothing to do with aviation, obviously, just to live through life. And I wanted to study more, and I looked into mining engineering. Is pretty big in Australia, but the application process was, how can I say, very weird and demanding, and they were very picky. So you had to go to a third-party company who, when you go to the university to do this course, and the third-party company demanded all sorts of things. Regardless the fact that I was already a citizen by then. And anyways, so that didn't work out, and then I thought, now I have to go back to aviation, and I can't remember how, but I find Aviation Australia, and when this was happening, I already had 2 kids then, and soon I became a single dad, so it was a bit challenging to manage study, and I have to work and look after them, but I managed. I enrolled the course, and even until now, I always tell my kids that you always have to put some extra effort, or just do something, or just do your minimum, and see where that will lead, or do a bit of the extra, and then be willing. So what happened? In this school, we had a old 727 freighter, This is an old aeroplane. If you don't know it, that's okay. You can have a look online. It has 3 engines. Anyway, so it had nothing inside it. Only one sets of seats, but one of the instructors said, "Oh, he wants to make it inside easier for students to work on it, to do practical work." So all the fuselage inside was covered with, Boeing has this plasticky sort of
Sidewalls.
carbon, sorry,
The sidewalls.
sidewalls. Yes. So his idea was is this man that lovely man that what if we can get plywood and cut out the windows and install plywood with straps between the plywood, and we can just slide them together and drill it up and all this. So I volunteered for this project. So how I managed? Well, the school started at 8. This is when you put in, right? You just put in a little bit of extra. So you put in, you don't know where it will lead, but doesn't matter. You just put in. When there's an opportunity, put your hands up. And I did that. And so I went into school at 7 o'clock, and school started at 8. So I used that 1 hour to go and get on a plane, remove the old interior, and that took a while, and then rebuild it. So towards the end, I have some guys, even my lunchtime, I sacrificed my lunchtime because after school, I didn't really have time because I had to look after my little ones. And so I did that. I finished the school. I'm not saying I was, of course, the language, English is my first language. It was a bit difficult. I'm sure many guys can relate to that if English is not your first language. The exams are a bit tricky. Sometimes I had to redo it again, but it's okay. You learn more. You fell, okay, whatever. I made a mistake or I didn't study enough.
Those who haven't failed haven't done it.
Exactly. So, and then at the end, at the school, there was a ceremony and like graduation ceremony, and I didn't know anything. And from the current government, there were some representatives, and I got a government award for basically when you put in for your effort. I got an award from the government, from the educational department of the government. So that's a pretty good result, I think. So this instructor, a manager there, who helped me through all this. I mean, he gave me a work and I helped him. I always had a good contact with him, and after a while, they offered me an opportunity, and I took an apprenticeship. I didn't choose a big airline. I chose a smaller one. I worked on Embraers 145, 170, and 190, but that airline went bust, so I couldn't finish it, and I was not everything, anyways. And then I had a bit of a break, like, I don't know, a few months, and then the opportunity came, and I ended up in the Middle East, and I spent 8 years in the Middle East. I got fully licensed on various types, Airbus 330, 777, it's a nice aircraft, Airbus 320, and in this order. And yeah, but while I was to do something else, again, while I was in the Middle East, I thought I have to study something. So I enrolled to a Australian university, and I had to fly back even sometimes for exams to do a master degree in aviation. What I wanted to do is I thought I have to select the subjects in this degree that it will help me and cover various areas in a business. So away I selected, okay, I was interested in instructing. So there was one instructing in aviation, one of the courses. And I did that, and also safety management systems and project management. That's always good for something, right? So at that time, I didn't know what I'm going to do with it. But then, surely, one day the airline came, said, "Hey, Alex, would you be interested to do refresher courses?" And I said, "Yeah, no worries." So, because I work with the book, it's a refresher for documentations and procedures. A lot of mistakes in a tech log and this, that. And I said, "Yeah, so, okay. Oh, well, then design a course." I said, "Here is the friend."
So it became a job.
Yeah, but I was still working as a licensed engineer. So they just took me out for maybe a month, and then I did just courses. So the guys just kept coming through for a refresher course. And then, of course, they locked me in the department, and then they offered me a job, and I worked there, did some instructing, different documentations and procedures for joiners, the 2 days one, the human factors, and all this, that. And then it's all finished. I left, and yeah. So this is how I met you, Chris. Of course, when I'm back in Australia, also started do instructing.
I remember I met you during COVID. We were both doing storage maintenance.
Yes.
And I was doing storage maintenance. You were doing an aircraft that was bringing in vaccines.
Yes.
And we used to wave at each other from one day to the other, you know.
Yeah.
And yeah, what a way, you know, to meet, I suppose, in our own desperate times.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really I'm forever grateful how our lives as aircraft engineers intertwines stories of people. It's like people you know from 20 years ago. You're still either a Facebook friend with them, or you even that you're good friends or family friends or whatever. It's amazing how a close knit and small community we are in aircraft engineers.
Yes.
Excellent. So it's also, I find every engineer has a story. Every engineer has a past. It's all about being able to overcome adversity. And you have the people that I don't know who said it. Maybe it was Darwin that said if the end of the world came, who would survive? The cockroach or the lion? Yeah, in the jungle. Yeah, and the answer is it's not the lion. It's the cockroach, because the cockroach is the most adaptable. The cockroach is the most able to react to all adversities, you know? And that's what shapes people. Adversity, change of the norm, throw them out of their normal daily routines and see what life has to give them and how they react to it. And that's what makes people stronger, I think. And I think both of us, in fact, everybody in aviation, because of all the disasters that have been, COVID recently, September 11th, SARS, bird flu, first Gulf War, second Gulf War, all these disasters have made people rethink themselves and reinvent themselves because of they've had to put themselves out of their comfort zone, you know, and had to rethink. And I'm a very big advocate of people like yourself that retrain, upskill, because you never know what's around the corner. You never know what's around the corner.
Absolutely.
And, yeah, that's good. That's a really interesting story. And
that's how we, sorry, that's how we survived, you and me, also during pandemic, that we used to also instruct online. And
Oh yeah. Do you
yes,
remember that? I
yes,
remember
yes,
that.
yes.
That was
So,
good.
what, guys, how did we get that gig? I mean, of course, Chris, but Chris also, he got here being an instructor. But me, I utilized also on that study, which I've done 6 years ago. And because I thought this will be good for something. And
Mm.
then I could utilize on it. And a lot of people, they lost their jobs, right? And Chris and myself, we were sitting at home and we can't go anywhere. And then, okay, we just teach to guys other side of the world.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
online training really became a thing.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it.
it was good.
Anyways, yeah, it's good.
Good. All right, mate. I'm gonna let you go now. I know you've
Yeah,
had a busy day,
thank
and
you.
I hope to see you soon. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.